Hey love, don't you deserve great sex? We think so. Welcome to Sex in South Beach, where everybody comes to talk, listen, and learn about sex. Dr. Sonjia, your favorite sex educator, and you are officially tuned in to Sex in South Beach, where everybody comes for healthy, happier sex.
Yeah!
Tonight's show is called Sexual Soulmates. It's going to be a great show. We're going to get right to the soul of the matter in just 1 second. So what normally happens after the shows is everyone on our crew gets into these deep conversations. This show just sort of inspires those types of deep, sexual, sensual talks that makes you wonder, am I doing things quite right? So the other night, Holly and I were driving home, and we had the top down. It is the middle of the night. It is so late after a show, and Holly and I are deep in conversation about, do soulmates really exist? Holly's like, you know, Dr. Sonjia, because that's what she talks to me. She's like, I think maybe I just missed my soulmate. Maybe we weren't alive at the same time. Maybe we walked by each other on the street and we just missed each other. And I was like, well, I don't know, Holly. I think, you know, sometimes you just have to believe that there's more than one soulmate for you. Like, that would be so difficult if there was just one person you were supposed to be with. So tonight, we're going to figure out, is there just one person for you? Are there many soulmates for you? And to help us uncover the mystical magic and create a richer, deeper understanding of this whole concept of soulmates, we have Cynthia Siegel, who is actually one of the top 20 psychics in the world, and she's South Florida's premier intuitive healer, psychic, and business consultant. She's going to help you get your mind and your heart on the right track so you don't worry about, did I miss my soulmate? How do I find my soulmate? We're going to figure it all out tonight. So stay tuned to Sex in South Beach, baby. You must not know about sense. You must not know about sense. It'll get your love life back on track. And it's all natural, that's a fact. To the left, to the left. Put your sense on the counter to the left. Sense is irreplaceable. Get yours today at drsonjia.com. And today's show, we're undressing sexual soulmates. Do you like how I did that? Undressing, which means we're taking the covers off of it. We're just gonna dig into this concept and figure out, do we all have many soulmates that we should be spreading ourselves about? Is there just one soulmate per person for our entire lives? We have one of the world's top 20 psychics here to help us unveil this whole concept of soulmates. Please give it up for Cynthia Siegel. It is wonderful to see you. Tell us, so what is a soulmate? Do people come and ask you about soulmates often?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what do people think a soulmate is? How do we feel about this? How do we think about this concept of soulmates?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
or sex mate.
Or sex
we
mate.
Might call
Yeah,
it.
a sexual soulmate. Well, that's you talk about like soulmates, and I think that sexually, sometimes people have just explosive, wonderful, amazing sex. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is my soulmate. We're supposed to be together forever. And then something happens down the line, like their wife calls, or they break up, or there's some terrible hurt or pain or something happens. And then they're so confused because it's like, well, if this is my soulmate, why am I so sad right now? So when people come to you asking about soulmates, is that because they're sad or because they think that they've missed out, or why do they come to you talking about soulmates?
Great question. So there's a number of reasons that they come, but I think you hit the nail on the head. They think they've missed it, or where is he?
Right.
Is the big question. Where is he already?
Right.
So this is my take on soulmates.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you decide to come back into this lifetime, you make up a list of things that you want to learn. You make this list up before you come.
Okay.
And then you talk to all the other angels around you, and they come in here and they say, okay, I'll play that part for you. I'll be the overbearing mother. I'll be the guy that leaves you after the first night. I'll be the guy at the pharmacy that you love forever. but don't make a move on.
Right.
And these are all lessons that you came here to learn. So when you have a relationship with someone, it's to learn a lesson, or you wouldn't have to have relationships with everybody. Now, there's another clue here that I think is kind of outstanding. We chose to come back in physical form this time. Which means,
just to catch everyone up, when you say come back, this is firmly rooted in the belief that we have many lives.
We have many lives.
That we have many lives, and most of us are not on our first,
yes, I'd say about 100% of us are not on our first.
Okay. So in our prior lives, depending on whatever happened in our prior lives, before we came back into this physical life that we're in now, we make up this list somewhere of these are the experiences that I need to have in this life.
Right.
Okay.
This is what I want to learn.
This is what I want to learn.
Okay. And actually, we do it quite joyfully. We make up this list. And then we come into this body. And the reason that we choose to come into physical form is to experience everything the physical form has to offer us. And we know that for sure because we didn't choose to come back as a rock or a tree.
Right.
No offense to our rock sisters.
But that's something I tell a lot of people who deal with guilt and sex. And they have religious values or certain things that interfere with their sexual pleasure. And I'm like, what God would give you this ability to communicate in this way, in sex, and something that can feel so joyous and so pleasurable and such a connecting, bonding experience.
And interesting the way the bodies interlock.
Right,
so
absolutely.
There's another clue.
Absolutely. And why there's absolutely no reason for a female orgasm other than pleasure.
Exactly.
So what sort of God, regardless of whatever someone's religious beliefs are, would give you this ability to feel pleasure, because we don't need it for procreation. We don't need it other than to feel good. So a female's orgasm, for me, is sort of a universal affirmation that, yes, you are supposed to enjoy sex. And when you talk about coming forth in this body, one of the reasons that I think that you're saying we're coming for it, that we've chosen this physical body, is because we do want to experience life with all of the gifts and, potential downsides that being in a physical body could have. And what's interesting, what you said about soulmates, so essentially you're saying that people come into our lives to teach us a lesson. And that's actually, I'm sure many people are familiar with Elizabeth Gilbert, the author of Eat, Pray, and Love. She believes in the concept of karmic soulmates, and I'm going to quote her so I don't mess up, but she said, a true soulmate is probably the most important person you'll ever meet because they tear down your walls and smack you awake. But to live with a soulmate forever? Nah, too painful. Soulmates, they come into your life just to reveal another layer of yourself to you and then leave.
That's beautiful.
So I thought that was really interesting.
That's profound.
Yes.
It is. And I will say that some people, when they made up their list on the other side, said, I just want to hang with one person my whole lifetime and learn my lessons from other people.
Wow.
And other people said that I want to learn my lessons from a variety of people.
Right.
I want to have a great time. So whether you're choosing to be here with one mate your whole lifetime, and we both know, as do you, many successful long-term relationships, right?
Absolutely.
That's what they chose. They just wanted that one person to kind of hold by their side and learn their lessons in another direction.
Absolutely. And I think that what you said was very, very important, that one long-term relationship might be the right soulmate for one person, whereas another person may need multiple relationships to learn their lessons, and that's what they've chosen in this lifetime. And it actually made me think of, maybe because the elections are coming up, but it made me think of a lot of people criticize Bill and Hillary Clinton. And in a lot of ways, they're probably perfect for each other, and maybe an act of infidelity isn't necessarily a break in the type of relationship that they have or that they've agreed to. It doesn't take away from them being soulmates from each other.
Exactly.
And that different people can choose these different types of relationships.
Exactly.
And,
Exactly.
right, not one thing is just for everyone.
You say I'm too late, that I can't keep a date, but I finally found a mate. Yes, I found a mate. I just got some sense and shook it on, and turned him on. Awesome, girl. You're buying all the sense-stimulating body oil. Must have a hot weekend ahead. Are you kidding? Sense has saved my love life. Everybody who smells me gets aroused. Get yours today at drsonjia.com.
Soulmates. It doesn't have to be one person forever. We can all do it our own way.
Right.
So there's, I think, a lot of possibilities for us to explore in this lifetime. Not just necessarily one way all the time, which is why sex is so fun.
Right. And many people have different ideas about soulmates. There's a lot of people who believe in this twin soul connection. And that type of soulmate, they believe it never happens at a convenient time. There's always some great barrier, maybe a country or a marriage or a financial commitment or something that prevents the two people from really being together. But they meet each other and feel this chemistry, but they can't really ever be together. And then there's the other type of soulmates that you just discussed, that it's not necessarily always a sexual soulmate. It could be someone of the same gender, or it could be a friend, it could be a sister. The soulmate connection, it can sort of happen with anyone.
Getting back to the question, when people come to me asking, where is he? A lot of men will ask me, can you give me their name?
Oh, wow.
And I won't. Because let's say, for example, your relationship is with someone named Richard. So now if I tell you the name Richard, you're going to be saying no to everyone else that crosses your path except Richard. But what if you had to have some experience with Dennis and Mark and Estelle before you would be ready for Richard to come in your life?
You are so right. I met my husband through someone. They were trying to set me up with a guy at the university, and we did not click at all. And one night, the guy and I saw each other out, and he was with the man who is now my husband. And so I ended up marrying his best friend. But I was like, why would we go out? No, there's nothing there. And there was a reason. Yes. And now he's the godfather of my son.
Oh, how beautiful.
Yes. And I needed to go through something there.
Exactly, to get to your husband. Exactly.
So do you think it's damaging? I was looking up some of the studies. There actually are a few studies about soulmates. And do you think it's damaging for people to think that there is only one soulmate? There's only a Richard. There's only one person. What the study said was actually that people who think that there's only one person, or they meet this person, let's say you and I get married, and I'm like, Cynthia's my soulmate, she's just everything. But when we go through conflict or challenging times, and inevitably every relationship does,
yes,
then I'm like, well, why doesn't Cynthia understand? She's supposed to be my soulmate. Why is she being so difficult right now? The scientists basically said there's two camps. There's the destiny camp, there's only one soulmate per person, and then there's the growth camp. That relationships are really a journey, and we're supposed to go through these trials and tribulations because they help us grow and learn and become better for each other. So they said when relationships go through challenging times, those in the growth camp, like it takes work, you have to grow, they actually survived challenging times better than the people who thought there was only one soulmate for their life, because they couldn't understand, why is this person not behaving the way, they're my other half, there's no one else but them. So it was really hard for them to deal with conflict or challenge.
So number one, they're not behaving the way you expect, so that you can learn the lesson that you're meant to learn with them.
Right.
If we agreed all the time, there's no soul growth happening.
So they really are teachers. Everyone who comes into our lives.
Yes,
really
so
is a
every
teacher.
argument is a gift.
Right.
And actually it's more of a gift about what is it inside me that's getting activated that I can release.
Right.
And the next one I want to address is, if there's only one soulmate for us our whole lifetime, that would be like God creating this abundant planet and saying, the only fruit I'm going to provide for you is mango.
Right.
That's it. I know everybody loves mangoes.
Right.
But there's no other fruit. That's it, your whole lifetime.
Right, right. And so for people who think that there's just one soulmate, and let's say their soulmate passed away or their soulmate broke up.
My husband passed.
Your husband passed away. Okay. And or someone were, so do you think that what sort of advice can you give to people who feel like they've either missed their soulmate or their soulmate died too soon, or perhaps it was their college boyfriend who ended up marrying another girl, but they really feel like their soulmate, so they spend years pining over this person? What sort of advice? I mean, these are like, no one's ever going to be as good as this person. So when people come to you looking for their soulmate connection, what sort of help do you think? How do we help people find their next soulmate, or help them understand that there may be more than one soulmate?
Okay, so if you have the belief system that there's only one soulmate, and you're happy, deliriously happy, that there's only one soulmate, then I would say that's working for you.
Oh.
If you have that belief system and you're sad and, as you said, pining away, then I think we could re-examine that. Because we're meant to have fun. Life is meant to be joyous and abundant.
Right.
It's so, as long as your belief system is making you happy, I would say stick with it. And if it's not, give me a call.
Right, right. And where can people give you a call at?
At theredphonetogod.com.
Theredphonetogod.com.
I love that name. My clients started calling me the Red Phone.
That's awesome.
To God, so I thought we'll get that as a website name.
Right, no, that's an awesome name. And so those soulmates that you have, when you're having that sex that is just like mind-blowing, explosive, the best sex of your life, this person just fits your body, they know what to do, and you're like, oh my gosh, this has to be my soulmate. That basically is just a teacher for you to teach you that you can have this amazing, powerful, spectacular sexual relationship with someone. And if they call the next day and it all works out, then great. And if they don't call and it doesn't work out, then you've learned this wonderful thing that you can take into your next relationship, and that was their purpose.
And actually it did work out, because maybe it was just meant to help you through some stranger and a one-night stand discover, like, holy wow, I didn't know my body could do that.
Thank you so much, Cynthia, for being here. If you have any questions, you want a psychic reading, your business needs some intuitive insight, you call Cynthia Siegel, and you can find her at theredphonetogod.com.
Bye now.
Oh! That was fun.
Thank you.
That was a time.
And today's homework is go to sexinSouthBeach.com, sign up for the VIP list so you can get free stuff for better sex. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and check out the Sex in South Beach podcast on Podcast Planet, a whole new world of awesome.
You know, the chief of my crew, you know, Chris and I feel like we're soulmates in some ways, which is why, you know, I always look so beautiful when I'm on camera.
Yeah.
He's looking at me like, I'm not your soulmate.